The atheist, the agnostic, they have one specific weapon that they can use at their convenience at any time. That weapon is skepticism. There is a degree of skepticism that's warranted, but then there's use of skepticism that's not warranted. Skepticism is, it's okay to use skepticism at a certain time. Like, it's good for us to be skeptic at times, but you can apply it when it's inappropriate. And a quick example of this is basically with Richard Dawkins. He doesn't know of any situation or scenario that would change his mind on whether or not God exists.
Used to say it would be very simple. It would be, the second coming of Jesus, or a great big, deep, booming bass Paul Robeson voice saying, "I am God and I created." I was persuaded mostly by actually Steve Zara, who's a regular contributor to my website, richarddawkins.net. He more or less persuaded me that even if there was this booming voice and the second coming in clouds of glory, the more probable explanation is that it's a hallucination or a conjuring trick by David Copperfield or something.
Richard Dawkins is a perfect example of that. Again, I'm telling you, for people to be, the materialist and to say that everything is like, in order to comprehend things, they have to appeal to our understanding of the world and all that sort of stuff. One of the most prominent atheists said, I don't even think that would convince me. A scientist, by the way, a man who pursues knowledge, a man who's disciplined in a specific scientific field, basically said, I'll say this again, he basically said that he doesn't think there's any scenario in which he would not simply be skeptical. He said that there's basically no particular instance or scenario that would make him change his mind. They will simply apply skepticism when it implies that change is needed from their behavior. And so the question is, why would he apply skepticism there, but he wouldn't apply skepticism when it comes to scientific practices or principles? I mean, if you're going to exercise the scientific method, that is to say, you're going to observe something, you're going to measure it, you're going to repeat it to determine if it's true, to validate your theory, that sort of thing, why would you apply skepticism to a phenomena that appears to you, but not when it comes to scientific study? And so the problem is that atheists use skepticism when it's convenient to them. Like I said, Christians can be skeptics. Like, I'm a very skeptical Christian when it comes to a number of things that other professing Christians claim. Like when people say that the Lord audibly told me this and that in my ear and this and that, and I heard him and this, and I had coffee with him. Like, there's a number of times when I apply skepticism because it's appropriate to apply it. I have a biblical epistemology that helps me determine what is actually Christian and what isn't Christian. So I can just tell you this, that they apply skepticism sometimes when it's warranted, but they definitely are known to apply it when it's not warranted. They're not perfectly intellectual people. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a perfectly intellectual person. We're all human beings. We are all sinners according to the text. We all fall short of God's glory. And so we are at times prone to not be rational. Like, don't let this supposed, appearance of intellectual superiority fool you. They are human beings just like everybody else. Like everybody else. And so now that you know that, you now can understand what they do when things get a little too hot. Like when things get a little too real for them, they will apply that skepticism because it means that they don't have to change. It means they can continue to be who they want to be, as opposed to who God might call them to be. Hope that's useful for you guys. Let me know what you think. A like is certainly appreciated. A comment is absolutely appreciated. And a subscription, I hope that this earned your subscription. You have a good day.